I want to talk about Texas Tech 43, Kansas State 20. There
Okay.
were aspects of this game that reminded me very much of Texas Tech in the way that they beat Utah earlier in the year.
Mhm.
Just the game, just the overall tenor of the
Like an
game.
inevitability of Texas Tech that they can do a number of things on both sides of the ball where you have to be your perfect self on every play.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about this one being really close at halftime.
Mhm.
12-7
Yep. Correct.
in favor of the Red Raiders. And then just like that, they explode for 31 points in the second half. They end up winning this one going away. That reminded me a lot of that Utah win. Kind of felt the same. I came away uber impressed by the ground game again. Maybe the numbers weren't as high as they've been in the past, but I thought we saw some key runs from Jacoby Williams, Cameron Dickey. I think those guys are really good. And especially as we came into this season wondering, what are they going to do after they lose Taj Brooks? These guys have, I think, done an excellent job stepping in, not being the same player, but maybe in the aggregate replacing him to some extent.
Right.
I came away even more impressed by the Texas Tech defensive front. And it's not necessarily going to show up in the box score with a million sacks or pressures or whatever, but they had Avery Johnson running for his life nearly the entire game.
Mhm.
So this all sets up what I think is going to be an absolute monster matchup next week, suddenly, between Texas Tech and BYU.
I think game day is going.
Game day should go.
I believe they're going. It's in Lubbock, correct?
It's in Lubbock.
Yeah, I believe that was announced that game day's going.
We preview some games on Tuesday. We're absolutely going to have to preview this game. I mean, there's a pretty good chance this
You're
is
an
gonna
early
be,
headliner, yeah.
yeah, this is more than likely going to be. I don't know where the rankings will put Texas Tech after this win, and there were some teams in front of them that lost, and BYU is going to benefit from that as well. But there's a pretty good chance this is going to be a top 10 matchup between these two teams, and I'm damn excited about that.
Yeah.
So the Texas Tech win going away by 23 points. I can't say enough good things about how they focused and how they pulled away in the second half.
Look, you force turnovers, you turn some of them into points, you're able to run the ball, you're able to, as you mentioned, the defensive front has been swarming basically all season long. David Bailey has been a problem consistently.
Yep.
Um, it'll be very difficult to lose. That's a very difficult formula. Obviously, quarterback injury is a very clear way where they have had some dips for a quarter or a half or a game, or however you want to look at it, with now Will Hammond out for the season and Baron Morton back. It still to me is weird, as somebody who has watched the sport for a long time, that Texas Tech plays so against reputational type. They're like, oh, no, defense and running, Texas Tech, as we've all come to understand this program to be defined by running the ball, defense, patience, knowing that, they're only up 12-7 at halftime. Just stick with it. Just stick with it. Go on the road. Just stick with it. A sloppy game against Utah. Finish strong with the backup court. Like, it's been very fun and a little bit surprising to me to see the extent to which they have so far fulfilled the promise and the hype of investing so much into this program in the offseason. And they look every bit like a program that belongs in whatever conversation you want to have, I would say, about the second tier of this sport nationally. Right?
Yeah, and look, they're part of a broader conversation that needs to be had at some point. Probably not now. We got to give it a few weeks. We got to wait for the season to unfold here.
Yeah.
But we do need to talk about teams that went all in on the transfer portal to try and give themselves a boost, and which ones succeeded versus which didn't. Texas Tech is very much on the right side of that spectrum. A team like an Auburn, I don't know. Okay.
Sure.
Probably on the opposite end. Oklahoma, maybe somewhere in the middle or closer to the good side.
Done a good job. I mean, look, it's all relative with Oklahoma with where they've been. Yeah.
So Texas Tech is very much a success story with how they went out, with how they spent their money. And I think it's paying dividends. Again, they've got a huge game coming up next weekend. Let me just say this about K-State, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
I haven't watched a ton of K-State this year in real time. I've obviously gone back. I've rewatched pretty much all of their games. I don't think the replays effectively capture the vibe the same way as watching the game in the moment. We've been talking about tortured fan bases a lot lately. Let me nominate K-State for a second.
The floor is yours.
K-State got this one to 19-14 early in the third quarter. They were trailing, but it felt like they had a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
From that point forward, Dan, I was frustrated. I had no dog in this fight. I was frustrated because they had so many chances here and they just could not get out of their own way. They did end up with a touchdown at some point to make it a 2-score game. But whether it was offense, whether it was defense, they had so many opportunities to just bolt the drive together. It did not need to be pretty. Just find a way.
Mhm.
Find a way to get in position. There's a penalty. Find a way to get in position. Oh, there's a pass thrown behind somebody. Find a way to get in position to put yourself in a position to maybe win this game or at least apply some pressure to the Texas Tech defense. They just couldn't do it. There is so much of an execution problem right now with Kansas State. It has to be maddening if you root for the Wildcats. It just has to. It doesn't feel like Avery Johnson has that much support. It's clear that he is an athlete out there. He is trying his best to make plays, but there's just not enough around him. And that's
No.
damn frustrating to watch.
No, and they really look, they generate some big plays, but they don't really do anything crazy well other than
No.
show potential, but then consistently fall short of it. And they've been in a better place. Look, there's no shame in losing to Texas Tech, this year's iteration of Texas Tech.
No.
You'd like to not turn the ball over 5 times. You'd like to not pop a huge run early with Avery Johnson for a touchdown and then really not show that kind of big play ability consistently for the rest of the game. Like, there's just stuff like that for Kansas State where they're just going to struggle all year, win and loss, win or lose, yes, with consistency.